Okay, as you can see, we have already started. Okay, you can see we are done installing TS node. So let's go ahead now and run npm to run as a node module as a node mod npm run dev. This will run this script for us, this line of code, so that we can be able to see our changes whenever we edit our file. npm run dev will run and compile all our code. So we are waiting. npm run dev. Okay, why this is taking time? Okay, this is config file. This is our routes. This is for the user create. Then the method is for the post. Then the route for the get. Okay, so I can go here now and I can just comment this and this, so that we'll see if our app is working. It's working fine. So let me change this. Oh, this is taking longer. Actually, I reboot my system, so that is why it's taking longer. I will just go ahead and quit it and run again. And npm run dev. Maybe this time it will be faster. As you can see, it will now run this node mod library on app.ts, so it will listen for changes on our app. So it's compiling and to run. So we can go ahead now and open Postman to check for to test for our endpoint if we are getting this message. So it's taking longer anyways. Okay, if Postman is done, we are waiting for Postman to be open. So I will just pause the video, and when everything is active, okay, then I will resume it. When Postman is ready, you can see our app is running. So you can go ahead now and make changes. If I comment, if I put an exclamation mark here, you can see the changes have been reflected on my terminal. If I do the same here, you will see the changes have been reflected as well. You can see. So Postman is ready. So you can just go ahead now and test. It's not yet ready, still rebooting. Still loading the data needed to run our endpoints. Okay. Alright. So Postman, let me just pause the video here and we'll try later on. Okay, Postman is ready. So we can go. Let's wait for our app to run. You can see app is running. So it has already read this line of code. It has already run compile from the top to bottom, and it reads app.listen to the port 500. Then it run the second argument for app is running. So we can go ahead now and test our route. Okay, you can see Postman is live. I will just expand this a little. Let me just maximize it. So you can say user/get. Okay, And what request was it again? What endpoint was it? Let's see, this is for the get. So you can go ahead and test it for the get. Make sure your ports, your backend ports, put it there and click on it. You can see working. You can see it is status code of 200. Okay. So if we go to there, we can see our controller working. This was the route that was. You can go ahead and modify it. So run again. I just go ahead and modify it to run again and save it and wait for it to get compiled. Okay, app is running. Go ahead and test it. You can see run again 200. Okay, with 35 milliseconds. Then the size is 247 bits. The time is very fast in milliseconds. So you can go ahead and test for this create is a what? It's a post request with slash create. Go ahead now and say slash create and change the method to post request. Okay, if I click on see reached 200. Okay, with the time 17 milliseconds and the size is 242 bytes. So you can see it's working. And one way we can output data, you can go ahead and just come here and say create console.log. You can output some data. You see this data. You can just console data. You see name, okay, skill, Prisma, hobby, so code. You can just go ahead and output this and to do the data. Okay, wait for the compile to okay, app.compile, app is running. Go ahead and test it again. You see reached with a 50 milliseconds as a response. Then we can see my output data coming from this line 9 data skill Prisma ORM. So this is the way to test your endpoint. So let's go ahead now and we already made sure that the endpoint is working. So let's go ahead now and install Prisma and use it in our Nodejs application TypeScript with MySQL. So see you in the next one. Alright, so let's go ahead now and install or required to run Prisma. So first you know what to do to use Prisma. First of all, you install the Prisma dependency. So npm install Prisma and as a dev dependency, or you say dash save dev. But I'll go with npm install Prisma -d. I click on enter, then I'll be able to install Prisma as a dev dependency, not the actual dependency, but as a dev dependency. Okay, so it's installing. It's installing what we need, the Prisma package. So I will just pause the video until it's done installing, but my connection is a bit slow, that is why it's taking much time. Just go ahead now, pause it. Alright, as you can see, Prisma has been installed on this line. Prisma has been installed. So the next thing what we do, we want to install the Prisma Client npm install. Let's just save. Let's just save at Prisma /client. Okay, then you add the version, and this my version will be 6 at version 6.18.0. Okay, so we'll go ahead and install the npm install. Let's just save Prisma /client 6.18.0. So click on enter and allow it to download the library into our package .json file, to this folder, so that we can be able to use. So what this library does, this Prisma client at Prisma client, is that it allows us as a developer to use Prisma and integrate with our Node.js to query data from our MySQL or Postgres database. Or you can take it as, you can say that it allows us to query data from our Node.js application. For short, just say Prisma at Prisma client allows us to query data from our database model from our Node.js application. Okay, so that is clear. So once you are done installing these two packages, Prisma as a dev dependency and at Prisma client, so you want to go ahead now and run the npx Prisma init. This will download and create a folder for us, and to go ahead and create a folder, you can look at this package or this one file. To go ahead and create a model, the Prisma model for us, with the Prisma slash schema.prisma file for us, and .env file for us to be able to use Prisma easily. Is downloading it and it's taking time, so I can just go ahead and pause the video without making this video longer. Pause it when the download is done. I will continue. Okay, it's almost done. As you can see, it's almost done. Still installing the Prisma npx Prisma init. So to go ahead and download the Prisma from inside of our root, inside of our project, so go ahead now and create the Prisma folder for us. And inside the Prisma folder, we have schema.prisma file, and to go ahead and also create .env inside of our root project, so we can use the environment variable to assign it. Alright, it's taking longer, but I want to be able to show you guys that npx prisma init will download and create a new folder. It will make the connection. It will make the connection between Prisma and our project. So that is what I want to show you guys. Okay. I think I will still pause the video for a bit because it seems my connection is bad. Okay, it's done. As you can see, it created the Prisma folder for us, which has the schema.prisma. You can see how it looks like on our on the schema.prisma file. This is what npx prisma init created for us, and you can see it also created the prisma.config file, prisma.config.ts file, created this file automatically for us, and it's also created .env file. You can see. So what it does is that the prisma init, npx prisma init created Prisma file that has the Prisma folder that has schema.prisma in it, created.env file for environmental variable, and also created the prisma.config.ts file. Okay, so now what you want to do after you are done with with this setup, so you want to go ahead now and make some adjustments inside of this our prisma. Inside of this our schema.prisma file. Want to go ahead and make some adjustments. So here now is Prisma.client generated. So go ahead and say -js. Okay, because we are using JavaScript under the hood. Also for our development we are using TypeScript. So Prisma will support it and it will understand the provider that is coming for Prisma client JS. Then this the output. I don't need it. I'll just go ahead and comment it out. Then you can see database DB provider is PostgreSQL by default. So go ahead now and we are working with MySQL. So go ahead and say MySQL. Okay, this is easy. Okay, then the database URL. You have to make sure that this database URL is same thing with our database connection, that the name is the same. You can see database URL. So you can see, okay, you can see that env is under our root file, our root project. So this is it. So we want to be able to, you can see the instruction, you can read the instruction. There it says environmental variables declared in this file are not automatically loaded by Prisma. Please add import.env/config to your prisma.config.ts file, or use the Prisma CLI with bone to load environmental variable from .env file. Okay, so what Prisma is telling us that we should go ahead now and install another library which is called it env.env file, which allows us to load data from inside .env into our projects. into our project. Okay, so let's go ahead now and install it. It's easy. So just npm install.env. That's all you need. So it will install it as a dependency. Okay, we already have it installed. .env 17.2. Okay, so say we should go into our prisma.config and install it here. So we just go ahead and install it. Import .env/config. Okay, go ahead and make our changes. And the last thing you want to do now is that you want to go to your Prisma and make the connection. Okay, add a model. So go ahead now and add a model. You have to make sure that you go to your extension. You want to install an extension. That is the extension. Also go ahead and make sure you have Prisma extension installed so that this can be easily, the syntax can be easily identified by Prisma, by VS Code. If you are using VS Code, go ahead and install this. You can see I've already installed it. That is why this syntax looks unique. It looks very nice. So I can go ahead and say model user. It's a capital U. Okay, and say you can say the ID will be an integer that will have a modifier of ID and a default of auto increment and you call the function. Okay, then you can say name. The name will be a string to capital S. Okay, alright. The name should not be unique. Okay, then the username should be a string, and you can say to be unique identifier. Alright, and let's just say okay, this is it. The ID, the name, and the unique. The ID, the name, and the username. So once you are done creating the model, go to your folder again and go to your Prisma. Okay, go and to your .env file and make sure that this is referencing our database model. So this we are using MySQL, so you can go ahead now and say MySQL. Okay, localhost. Okay, we go to our MySQL DB. Alright, okay, I go to MySQL workbench and I will create a new schema. And I will say Prisma tutorial. Okay, I will say Prisma tutorial, the name of my DB, and I'll click on apply to apply the changes. So you can see review the SQL instruction. Okay, to create schema, so click on apply to create the schema for us. So once the executing SQL statement is complete, so you can go ahead now. Let's wait for it. Okay, what does it say? Say expression false for information on how your program can cause an exception. Okay, let's retry. We can end this. So you can see Prisma tutorial schema was created. So I can make sure that this name, the name that you created as your schema, you are using it. So you go back to locals. Okay, and let's look for the ports. Let's look for the ports. Okay, and the port. This is the port 3306. This is the port for MySQL 3306. 3306. This is the port. Locals. Okay. Okay. So we want to go ahead now. And this is, remember, we are editing MySQL Postgres to MySQL route, MySQL URL. So go ahead now and say root. Then this will be your password. You go ahead and put your password here. Then at localhost. Okay. The password you want to put. Make sure that the password is the same password that you use to create your workbench account. You have to make sure that it's the same that you use to create your local instance, the password that you'll be using. Okay. Then you don't need this. Go ahead now and just delete it. Okay. Then slash, you have to make sure that your schema name, your database name is this, and what we assign there is Prisma tutorial, which is coming from our Prisma. You can see the Prisma tutorial from here, coming from Prisma tutorial, where we have our table views, stock procedures. So this is it. So you can put your password here. Make sure that the password is there exactly the way you write it. If not, you'll get an error. You have to make sure that the password tallies so that you can get an accurate result. Okay, I'm repeating it again. You have to make sure your password tallies. So once you are done, save the changes, then head over to your Prisma. Make sure that this is saved. This is saved as well. So once this is saved, you have to go ahead and run npx Prisma migration dev dash name init. Yes, this you don't have to cram it, just you have to know how to use it, and make sure you don't have to cram it, but just make sure you have to know it. This what this line does is that it will create just like the npx Prisma init created the Prisma folder .exe file and prisma.config.ts file. This Prisma migration will also do similar, but it will create the migration file inside of our Prisma code, our Prisma folder. Okay. Oh, I made a supposed to be Prisma with the A. Okay. I just remove the white space, and we have to make sure. Okay, say Prisma npx Prisma migration dev dash name init, and click on enter to create the migration file for us and connect us to our DB. Okay. Okay. Oh, I get an it seems to exist. Well, what is the problem? Let's have to go to where the error begins, and you can see loaded Prisma config from Prisma.json. Yes, unknown command migration. Prisma is a modern DB toolkit to query, migrate, and model your database. Okay, so what the code is saying is that we are using migration instead of migrate. So let's go ahead now. So npx Prisma migrate dash name. Okay, init. Okay, so first of all we need to put the dev in front of them. You can say now npx Prisma migrate dev dash name init. So click on enter, and it should create the migration folder for us inside of the Prisma folder. Okay. Alright. You can see now, you see your database is now in sync with your schema. So it was successful. Running generate. So you can see now that it created the migration folder for us. So that is it. The database now in sync. So if we go to our database now and see the changes, so let us reload, refresh. Okay, you can see now that our table has a Prisma, our Prisma tutorial, our schema, or our database now has a Prisma migration and a user that has no. Go here and click on the table to see our table. You can see it has no table. Okay, it's still loading on the background. You can see it has no table. It has an ID, a name, and the username, which is coming from here. The ID, the name, and username. So this is it. It has made the connection. You can see Prisma has made the connection from our project into our our, our MySQL project with the help of Prisma, with the help of migration and our model. So what we need to do now is that we need to integrate, like we need to query and push data into our MySQL store so that it can be stored there for future reference. So I will teach you how to do it. So, okay, so let's go ahead now, and first of all, yeah, we run the npm1 there so that you can listen from changes and get updated automatically. So go to our controllers now. Here we want to query data. So you can go here now and import something from at Prisma Prisma/client. Okay, that will be okay. That will be the Prisma client. Okay, I don't want to install it here. Sorry. Okay, you can install it here. You can add it as a config file. You can add it as a config file. So it really makes sense to add it as a config file so that you can be able to get it by importing it. So I will just create a config file inside of my source. Okay, I will just create a config folder, and inside the config folder, I will create the Prisma config.ts. Now I'll go ahead and install Prisma. Okay, import something from at Prisma/client from the library, and that something will be the Prisma himself, Prisma client. Okay, so go ahead now and instantiate it with the new Prisma client and call it as a function and save it inside of our variables Prisma. This is called instantiation. So we instantiate it. Okay, then we'll go ahead and export it. Export default Prisma so that we can be able to use it in every of our application. So now I'm going to my controller and import it. So import, I'll just say with the Nodejs Prisma form. I'll go up one level, two level out of my Prisma to one level up. So then /config /prisma without the file extension. Nodejs will add it for us. So this is it. So now we can just go ahead and call it try cache function, try cache statement, and just say return response, the status, okay, 500 JSON. enter server error. Okay, and this will be await Prisma, which is coming from our Prisma config, our Prisma instantiation, Prisma dot. Then this now, Prisma will give us the user model. This is, we go to our model, you can see we have a user model with a capital U. So Prisma now will now give us a smaller with the first word with a lowercase. So that is what we do. Going down to our controller and with the model with a smaller word u dot say find. Okay, dot find. Okay, should I just claim? Let's console Postman and see what it does, what it gives us. So I will say const data, and let's see the data in action. Console.log. That will be better, right? So that you can see and easily explain and easily show you the data, the model that gives us. So we need to add the async here outside of it so that TypeScript will not complain. So go ahead and test it. I'll go to the get to the slash post. Okay, go to the slash user, then to the get method and click it. Okay, you can still loading. Let's go ahead and verify. Okay, I will expand this so that you can see everything, so you know telling you exactly how it is. So go ahead now, look for the user model with a lowercase u. As you can see, we'll see it. This is a u. And you can see the user model, which you can easily say Prisma dot. As you can see, easily say Prisma dot user, then find many, create. This find unique is used for finding the unique one, like our username and email. Find first, it will find the first that matches the text and return. Find many, we find many of the documents, as you can say. Create and create many, update and update many. Onset, delete and delete many. So that is it. That's what I wanted to show you, and I'm glad I did. And you can be able to learn, you know. So go now and say Prisma, await Prisma dot our user, if you can remember, dot, now call the function, say many, find many. This will return an array of user found. Otherwise, none. Otherwise, an empty array will be returned. So it's like if there's, in our case now, there's no object, there's no data there, so it will return an empty array, but if there is the data, it will return all the data. So you can just okay, let's just call this function this to return it to return response. Response is status 200 JSON. Okay, and this will be our data. So once it's compiled, we will run it and see it in action. Okay, so if I click on it, you can see an empty object was returned because I tagged the 200 that is okay, because there is nothing in our database. Our database is empty. So let's go ahead now and create to our database. And create our database. Okay, so this is our database, and we'll be having a name from request.body. Request.body.new. We'll set it as a string. Then the username, if you remember, request.body.username as a string as well. Then if we go and search for our model to see the name and the user. The user is unique, if you remember. So the ID will be auto generated for us by default. So that is all. So now I'm going to run this. Okay, let me try zooming in so that you can see. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit so it's much easier now to see. Let me try zooming in again. Okay, this is much better. So now we run my try cache. So cache if there is some error. That's pretty code. Then I can return the 500 status. So error. Okay, then this will say await Prisma. If you can remember, still same thing. Dot user dot the create function, and the create function takes an argument which is the data itself, and the data now has take the name and the username. So that is how you add it, and this returns us data. Okay, and the data we can just return. I just response your status 200 JSON, and just see the data. So this is better, right? Let me bring this down so that it will be. So what is wrong? Okay, it's saying did you mean to mark this function as async await? Okay, that is a nice error and straightforward. As we are using await now, we need to add the async here so that both goes together. But if you want to use the await, you have to use the async first. You have to call the async await. That is why they call it async await. So if I make changes, and you can see I make changes again and control save, you can see it has compiled. So first of all, I want to go to my model and refresh it so that you can refresh it, and I will open my model again so that you can see that. I'll open my user. You see that it's empty. ID is empty, name, the username is empty. Let's go ahead and fill it inside of our from our Postman to create it. So and this is a get request, don't forget. And we need to add the body. Go to raw and JSON, select JSON. Okay, then an object that takes two parameters. Alright, yes. So okay, so now take the name. You have to make sure that the name is a string, if not you'll get an error. Now the name, I can just say what name should we use. Let's use John. Let's use John. And the username is, let's say, John testing. Okay, John testing. So I click on send to send the request to. Okay, you can see it has created successfully, and it takes 4:54 seconds due to my connection, and the status is 200. Okay, and this is the data we return with the ID of 1, name John, username John, testing. So let's go to our database now and let's reload the page, our schema, so that it will take the latest effect. And let's click to see our schema. You can see an ID 1 is created, John, and John testing. So it's working fine. Our app is working fine. So one thing I want to show you on Prisma is that let's go ahead now and modify our Prisma schema file. Okay, you can see the unique name. The username is unique. So this is unique. You have to make sure it's. Let's test it to see if it will work. So let's try it again. You can see error. Why is the error is that? So let's see if data is saved, even if we get an error. Okay, click it. You can see the data was not saved because we added a unique, and we are also using the same unique name here, which Prisma refused to run. So one thing now I want to do now is that I want to add a second argument, a second feed. I want to add a second feed, another feed into our model, and the feed name will be email take note of this. Then the field name will be a string, okay, and it will also be unique. I save it. Okay, this for the changes to be reflected. What you need to do, what Prisma, because this is, if you take note, this is not a JavaScript file. It doesn't have a nice extension, but it has a Prisma extension. So based on this editing that we have already added, we need to run another command to take effect, so that this command will now be added into our Prisma.user model, so that we can call it as a function. So go ahead and create np and run this command, npx Prisma generate. What this does is that, due to this change, is that whenever you added the changes inside of this schema.prisma file, you need to run this command, so that the changes will be reflected, will be updated to our Prisma. So to our Prisma project, so run npx Prisma generate, click on enter. This will make the updation, the connection, everything required. So let's see what it says. You can see loaded Prisma config detected, and generated Prisma Client. Started by importing the Prisma. Okay. Interested in query caching, just a few lines of code. Try accelerate today. Okay. It means that it was completed. So if we run on dev, and this, I promise you, this has been reflected. So let's see where are we getting the error? We are getting an error here. Let's see what the error is. Okay, as unable to compile TypeScript, same name, string username is not assignable to type without user create input. Okay, type name string is not assignable. So property email is missing in type. Okay, but required in type user input. So what is saying now, because we have added a new feed, which is the email feed. We have succeeded in adding an email feed, succeeded in adding this feed here, this line of code, and we have already run npx Prisma generate. So it's now telling us now, Prisma is now using a type safety with TypeScript, and telling us that, hey, this is not provided. These changes was been made, but it's not provided in your controller when creating this. So you need to go ahead now and say email. So add the email and make sure it's coming from our request or body as well. So say email coming from the request dot body dot email as a string. Okay, this is all. You can see the error will be gone, because while Prisma.user, we have already added it. So let's go ahead and test it again. So now I'll go ahead and add the email field, and just say john@email, john@test.com. You can try this email now and click on send. What? Okay, get a 500 response error. So let's console.log the error and see what is happening. Error.message. Let's see what is happening. Why it's not getting saved? Why it's not getting saved? Okay. What is this saying now? Our error. Error is of type unknown. Okay. So let's remove the message and save it. Let's go so that we can compare, check what we are getting, why the error. Okay. Let's expand this a little bit. And you can see node code P2022 meta model name user column email client version. Okay. So we are getting this data from the email we just added. So let's see the name request.body.email. Let's console and let's see if we are passing our data. Request.body. Okay. Request.body. Okay, that's true. Let's add it. Comma. So if I run it again, get same thing. And this we are having body name John email, the username. Okay, I think the username is where it's coming from because we are seeing that username and the email should be unique. And you can remember we've already created an email before that matches John underscore testing. So let's go ahead and change the email and the username and see save the latest changes. Let me just comment this out. Okay, and this testing I will just say testing 2 and click on send. Oh my, still got same error. What is the problem? Okay, let's see all generate again to generate npx prisma generate to generate the changes we made inside of our prisma. Okay, npm one dev to take change latest effect. Now go ahead now and just create a different image as well. So John 2 and the name should be John 2, but the name has no just the image. Oh my, same error, same error, same error. Okay, let's refresh this and see if it's getting saved. Anyways, it's not. So what is a problem. ID, name, string, okay. What is the problem? We are getting the name, email, username, and we are saying data to be a name, email, and username. Let's console.log and see the message again. Okay, let's see the message again. Alright, let's run because I made the changes inside of my Prisma, npx Prisma generate. Alright, npm run dev. Alright, I click on it, I get the same error. Okay, I think I know where this is coming from. Okay, so you can see where it is. So I knew it was coming from there. So the column email does not exist in the current database. Okay, so let's try this, if this will fix it, by running migration, by migrating it to see if it will fix the error. Npx Prisma migrate dev dash name init to see if it will fix the error. To see if it will fix the error for us. Okay, I will just pause it. Okay, it has completed. Let's see where is successful. Okay, we found changes that cannot be executed. Skip 0 added the required column email to the user table without a default value. There are 1 rows in this table. It is not possible to execute these steps. You can use Prisma migrate dev dash create only to create the migration file and manually modify it to address the underlying issues. Then you want Prisma migrate dev to apply it and verify its value. It works. Okay. npm run dev to see. Let's try it one more time on our endpoint. If it will make the changes. Same thing. So one thing now, another way to solve it is that we need to come to this and drop this So come here and drop it. And drop the table. Now we need to delete the table. Let's go ahead now and delete the table. Let's drop this table. Okay. Drop table. And drop this. Okay. Now you create it again. Create schema here. It will be Prisma tutorial and apply changes. Just like we did it the other way. Successfully finished. Okay. Let's go now and run the migration. npx Prisma migrate. Then just name it. This should work. Okay. Yes. Okay. All right. The database is now in sync with your schema. So npm one dev. That is one way to do it. We'll go ahead and test it. You can see it has created successfully. We go to refresh the page. We now have one table. Now, okay, this is for the old existing one. This is the new one. Okay, let's go ahead and create another one again. Okay, John 1 and John 1 and it's it. You can see the ID is automatically generated for us. Let's see what we got again. You can see the ID is 2. So this is it. This is it. I've come to the end of this. So I think you have learned a lot on how to connect your database to your URL, to how to connect MySQL, Prisma, Nodejs, TypeScript, and MySQL to all together to perform the operation. And to make this easy for you, you can as well just say create. I will not test it, but I will just go ahead and just want a duplicate. Let's just say line so that it will be easy. So this will just say get. This is get single user or single data, and this will just say okay. This will say await Prisma.user.find. Okay, this will just say find unique. Yes, so find unique, and unique will now reference to one of these, either the email or the username. So in this our case, we'll say the email. Find unique where you have to make sure where you have to put is where email. This is it. You can put email, you can put username. Okay, this is for endpoint. Okay, logic, or let's say controller for getting a single user. Okay, then same thing applies. This is say okay, delete single user. Okay, and this will now be coming from user.delete where user is this. Sure you get. I hope you understand it. I hope this is clear. So now you just go ahead now and go to your controller and add it as a part. See the router dot. This will be the delete route, then slash, and this will be coming from the function. I will just say delete. So this will be added to the config, and go to this last one and delete a single user. Data dot. Okay, this is for the getting of the single user. In this slash, let's just say the ID and this, and also for this. Okay, let's just test this and it should be good. So let me zoom out. Okay, this is better. So this is for post, get, and get the ID. So what are we now doing? Username. Okay, so we need to import this. So I'll just make, for this to be faster, I'll just go ahead now and just copy it from our existing ones and just add it here and add it here. So this should be fine. Okay, so now I will test for, okay, let's test for, we haven't tested for getting all user. So I click on get and see all the user was retrieved, the 2 user, you can see. So let's go ahead now and for getting a single user. Okay, and the ID, let's say 2. to get the last one, get. Okay, I click on it, you can see I get the 2, the second one, and there's nothing. Okay, then it checks for the delete. Go okay for the 2, I want to delete it, so go to the delete route, and I'll be sending a post request for the delete. You can see for the delete. Okay, I need the for the delete. I need it as a request of body. So is it for the delete? What is it? Okay, for the delete function. So delete function. So you can see for selected delete, and this is for the delete user delete. So now we need to identify the username, pass the username where it's coming from. So let's delete number test number 2. So if I click on it, you can see it has deleted. So to verify it, we need to just go ahead and check. I want to show you the 2 ways of verifying. Go in there, you can check, see only one. Okay, just one. So you can also check to see that you are retrieving it successfully. I go ahead to the get, and I delete this part to get all. Get only one again because number 2 was deleted. Alright, so let me just cover more. Okay, this is for the crate. Okay, then this is for just left with the, this is for parts. Okay, slash user slash delete. Okay, then this is for parts. Okay, parts slash user slash id, and the method is get. This is the method. The method is delete. The delete method. So I want to create for the patch, which is to complete the code operation. Dot patch, and this will take the slash. Remember that what this part is listing for is user slash. So I will just omit the first user and just go for slash. Okay, let's say updates, and the name of the, okay, the name and the ID is it's okay. I'll say updates single user, update single user. So I will just add it as the last to my controller. Okay, alright. So now be passing I'll be passing the ID as a params. query of bounds dot id as a number, not a string, as a number, and this will be the user id. So it will be update, it will be update where okay, where id, okay, cause data is one update. Okay, let's try this. Where id as a data, and data, the new data will be, we are updating the name. We will be passing some data, name, email, and the username. Okay, and this will be coming from the query body. Let's just copy this and add it here. Okay, I'm getting an error. Error is requires the bounds.id as number. Type string is not comparable to type. Okay, so what is saying that what is coming? This will return a string. That is true. So what we need to do now is that we have to pause it. This will be, let's just say, bounds id, and then I'll convert it to user id equals to number bounds id. So this is now converted. So what we are getting is now converted to id. So let's go ahead now and make the update. So what is left is number 2, and okay, we'll go ahead and make the update. So John 33, the email will be 33, and yeah, John test, John test 33. Okay, let's proceed. No, get no. Why is it? Hmm. Either number 2 is not found. ID 2 is found. So what is the problem now? Okay, so you can see we are getting some errors. I'm getting errors. Try the again. This is we are fetching equals the bounds, fetching the data from query body, the name, the email, and the username. Then Prisma.user, which is Prisma.the model name. Then the update. Then we say where ID. The ID fetch the ID, then update with this data. Okay, then return this. So let's go ahead now and check. And if you remember, we are performing a patch request to /updates/ID. Okay, so let's do it now. So /user/updates/2 as the ID, which is what is which is the mini data we have in our database store. So patch. So if we proceed, now we have successfully updated ID to name John 33, name 33, username John 33. So it was successful, and if we check our code, there's no error on our code. So if we go to our database, we're here to see what is happening. You can see the 2 is John 2, testing 1 and test 2. Okay, I'll go ahead now and send a new one. The latest one, you can see John 33, John 33, 33. So that is it. So you can I can easily say I've succeeded in teaching you guys code operation with TypeScript. You can see the code operation. This is for the create to create new to create user. This is for get to get user. This is another get to get. This is get to get multiple user. To get all user on DB. To create what it does is that to create a single user. Okay, to get all user on TV. Then what this one does is that get a single user from TV. From TV. Then this is okay. This is for the user/update slash this method is bash. What it does is that get a single user. Now this is update a single user. Update a single user on DB. Then this what this does, delete a single user from DB. So I was able to complete the code operation with user on this. So you can remember that, to recap, you can remember that what we did in this is that we first of all we created our Express server with Express. Then we did the MVC pattern, the user route, the controller, we added the controller. Then we run our application with the help of Express and Nodejs. We have the listing report and including report. Then we run npm install -d to install Prisma as a dev dependency. Then we run Prisma/client to install Prisma so that we'll be able to allows us to integrate to query data from our database, which we now imported from the Prisma client, which is the Prisma client, and we initiated it and exported so that we can use it everywhere in our app, in our site. So as you can see, then we run npm, then we run npx Prisma. Okay, let me just create a dev dependency to create a readme for that to show you this procedure that we did. Readme.md. Okay, the procedures. One, where we created logic, we created Express and Nodejs logic for creating a server with TypeScript, and also, okay, next new line, also created the route controllers folder. Then number 2, then we run npx. Okay, then we install Prisma as a dependency, as a dev dependency with npx npm install Prisma -d. Okay, then number 4, what we did is that we installed Prisma, we installed Prisma, we installed Prisma Client with npm install at Prisma slash client at 6.18 0 as I say 5 we run npx Prisma init to install install Prisma /client dot Prisma file dot env and the Prisma dot config dot ts file. This is one npx migrate dev dash name then init to update or merge your schema or DB to DB with your project. The number 7 run npx Prisma generate to generate and update the changes from Prisma slash schema slash Prisma file. Okay, here should be Prisma. Alright, then number 8, we performed or code or create update and delete, which is the CRUD operation. It's Prisma and Nodejs 9. Okay, length that the code is await Prisma dot model name dot create one